Welcome to the Dr. Saladani Show. Fans of Dr. Saladani call him the great genius, a figure that Nostradamus wrote about. His theories in math and astrophysics are used by government agencies. His theory has proven Newton and Einstein are wrong. His prime algorithm is used by the NSA. His planetary distance formula is used by NASA to find new planets. His Ele theory is used by the USGS in earthquake prediction modeling. He founded two different think tanks, including Helix Q, the artificial intelligence think tank. Dr. Adani is the founder of the cryptocurrency BizBytes. Dr. Adani is also the founder of the One Media Network. One Media produces dozens of podcast shows for the iPodcast network.
This is Dr. Saul Adoni. Welcome to another segment of the Dr. Saul Adoni Show. You can find more segments at sauladoni.com and ipodcast.org. Sauladoni.com is SOLADONI.com.
This is Dr. Saul Adoni. That's sauladoni.com, SOLADONI.com. Today's podcast, I'm going to be speaking about the rapid increase in seismic activity all over the world that we've been experiencing the past few weeks. One of my theories in academics is known as Ele Theory. It involves earthquakes. So my book on Ele Theory is at greatquakes.com. And Ele Theory is based around the triangle of fire. This is North America on the right, Asia on the left, Australia down here, South America here, Central America here. Now, the triangle of fire is similar to the ring of fire, but it's more precise. This map shows almost 20 quakes in the past 100 years that were the largest variety. That's 8.5 or above. It's only been around 20 of these events in the past 150 or so years. So they're very rare. Now, 95% of them have struck on these three lines. So it's not a circle. It's three lines where all these quakes hit. The only exception was 1950, struck over here in the Himalayas, which was an extension of the southern line that goes from South America through the Pacific Islands, through Indonesia, up and through India and the Himalayas. So the three lines here is where all the plate tectonics is occurring. So we have the western coasts of North and South America, we have the eastern coast of Asia and Russia, northern coast of Australia. This is where Ele Theory predicts that according to the winter and summer solstices and the spring equinox, the month before and after each one of those solar events, that's when almost all of these quakes have occurred. So it's 6 months out of the 12 when these three lines are seismically active. Just like hurricane season, 6 months long in the eastern Atlantic and in the western or in the eastern Pacific. These huge quakes are occurring around the aphelion and the perihelion of Earth's orbit around the sun. Because the elliptical orbit creates a slingshot. It's like a double pulse. And the Earth is furthest from the sun, which was on July 4th when the first quake struck up in California. The Earth shifted its core to reverse and go on the other direction around the sun. So when the core is shifting like this, a month before and a month after these shifts, that's when all these seismic events happen. Almost half of the quakes are around the solstices, which is summer solstice, which we're in, winter solstice. The other half, for some reason, is around the spring equinox. So, at that time, almost half of these superquakes hit. Very rare do any of these quakes hit in the fall equinox. Very rare is it that any quakes of this magnitude, the huge ones, occur more than 30 days before or after one of those three solstice or equinox points. So people, we now know where the biggest quakes hit, and we also know when. They occur mostly, not 90-95% of the time, near those windows of the equinox and the solstices. So quake prediction is very real. We know where the quakes are striking, and we know when they most often strike. So we know magnitude, we know over 8.5, we know location, only these three lines, and we know the time, you know, around the solstices and the spring equinox. So earthquake prediction is very real, people. And the other day, or actually yesterday, I announced that I was warning of a Mount Hood eruption in the whole northwest of the United States was in the path of future seismic events. They're connected to the part of the video about what I call the pentagram of blood. So you can see in the video here, I kept pointing to Portland, which is right next to Mount Hood, where we've had a swarm. And just north of Portland, Seattle, we just had a significant earthquake within a day of me warning that this northwest corner of the United States was where a lot of seismic activity is scheduled to hit, in my opinion. So I've been warning of Mount Hood eruption for 25 years. That's what I view as the major significant event that's going to unleash this whole western North America, all the fault lines. So you have multiple volcanoes, multiple megathrust, 8.5, 9.0, and bigger quakes striking up and down the west coast of North America. So California, Oregon, Washington, Western Canada, Alaska, Central America, all those areas are ripe for some huge seismic activity around the solstices and around the spring equinox. That's my warning. You can see here I've been talking about for a while, since last year, how there's a 100% increase in great quakes since 2001. This is another video of mine you can watch. And I base that on using the USGS database. So if we go to the USGS database and we start looking for larger quakes, which are 6.0, in the past 10 years, you'll see in 10 years there's only 1,500 of these events. So we get about 1,500 of them, 6.0 or above, all around the world. Most of them are on the Triangle of Fire. A few of them are on other fault lines, but the vast majority of these 1,500 quakes past 10 years, 6.0 are up here. Okay? So what's up with 6.0 quakes the past 30 days? Well, this is the USGS showing you the past 30 days, and every one of the 6.0s is on those three lines. So if we make a line from Alaska down into Indonesia, and go across the Pacific Islands into South America, and then we go up the coast of Americas and North America up into Alaska. Every 6.0 the past 30 months is on the locations where I warn about. Now, we've had 22 of these quakes. Remember, there was only 1,500 in the past 10 years. So we only get 150 a year. And yet, in the past 30 days, we've had 22. If we had 22 every month, we'd have 250 a year. So this is almost a 100% increase on 6.0 quakes, which isn't even the ones that I'm talking about all the time being dramatically in larger numbers. Now, these are 7.0 quakes. And we have a whole decade of them in this screenshot here. This is all of the quakes in the 1980s. From the middle of July 79 to the middle of July 89. 10 years, only 112 events. So we don't even have one every month. That's how rare 7.0 quakes have been. But now, in the past 30 days, these are 7.0 quakes. We have the one in California, July 6th, 7.1. June 24th, we have a 7.3 in Indonesia. On June 24th, right after the summer solstice. And June 15th, just before the summer solstice, we have a 7.3 in New Zealand. So, we're supposed to have less than one a month. We have 3. That's a 200% increase the past 30 days. Now, the past 20 years, these 7.0s have gone from less than 1 a month up to around 2 a month. So this is even busy for a 7.0 quake. Normally we've been getting now 2 a month. We're supposed to get 1 a month. So now we got 3. So people, these are things the USGS and other seismologists are hiding from you. The media is hiding this from you. We have a dramatic increase in the largest quakes, which is 7.0. I've been putting out videos about it. You can go search for my Solidoni government hiding 100% increase. Well, now it's up to a 200% increase last month. Here's my warning before the Northwest started shaking. That I pointed to the Northwest, saying Portland, Mount Hood. Seattle's right next to Portland. Boom. This area is where I'm seeing seismic activity about to go off. The whole west coast of the United States and west coast of Canada and Alaska and Central America are in a quake window where I expect major seismic activity. Is the real big one about to hit in the next 3 weeks? I'm not going to say that, but if it does, it's in the window where my warnings say it should occur. Okay? Will the big one strike in the next spring equinox? A month before or after the spring equinox? Well, there's 50% chance every year that's the 2 months when these type of quakes do occur. So whether it's North America, Central America, South America, Asia, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, these are the areas that are prone to the largest quakes that time of the year. So this is when the big quakes hit. Summer solstice, spring equinox, and then we also have the winter solstice. So, is the big one going to strike this summer solstice or this winter solstice or next spring solstice? Is it going to strike in a couple years in one of those windows? No one can tell you for sure, but based on recent seismic activity, where you have a whole bunch of shaking going on right now underneath volcanoes and underneath volcanic fields like in California, Southern California. These areas are showing a dramatic swarming of smaller quakes, which often are foreshocks of bigger quakes. So we need to watch out. You need to evacuate these zones. If you live in these areas along the Triangle of Fire, people, do yourself a favor. Move a couple 100 miles inland so you get out of the ways of volcanic magma flows and serious earthquake zones and tsunami zones. It's all around these 3 lines. So people, save your life. Get inland. These areas around the coasts, Western Americas and South America and the coast of Asia and Indonesia, these areas should be banned by governments for populations. Move inland, people. These mega quakes are coming soon, and you need to really heed my warning and get inland. This was Dr. Solidoni. Have a great day.
To listen to more podcasts from Dr. Solidoni, you can visit solidoni.com or ipodcast.org.